Ruthless.
Yes.
I'll do. Oh, I've got to get my little catchphrase in. So something I never considered, something I didn't know Ruthless did, was he was a hostage negotiator. Something that interests me. I don't know a lot about it in the prison service. So if you just start why you decided you might like to do that, and then tell us a bit about it.
Well, it wasn't an ambition of mine to be a hostage negotiator. We'll stick that down right away.
Yeah.
So over the years, prison officers are encouraged to go on various courses as a career development kind of thing. And
I like career development.
yeah, it's good.
It is, yeah.
And there came a point in time when I was at HMP Garth where we used to get green papers circulated for, you know, what's coming up and this, that and the other, courses that are running and what have you. And of course it's always great to do a course because it gets you out of your normal job in the prison. You know, you might get a week away on subs and stuff like that. So there was always that was an advantage with doing courses. Anyway, this course came along, hostage negotiator. Didn't know anything about it at all. And I filled all the paperwork in and I was accepted. And come the day, off a shot down to, I think we did it at Manchester, the first one, over in Carnarvon House. And I hadn't got a clue really what it was all about.
Is it a week's course?
It was a 2-day course, I believe, the first one I did. They can, I mean, sometimes you're in and out in half an hour. They can fail you just like that. It's as simple as that. Obviously, the longer you do, the more likelihood of you passing the course. But it's a very exacting course. You start off with you're given a scenario that's going to happen in a setup where there's a cell with a prisoner, probably a barricade or something like that, and you're judged by 1, 2 or even 3 sometimes psychologists.
Okay.
Prison psychologists. And the person who is playing the part of the prisoner was in my case, a prison officer from HMP Liverpool. And I mean, I can say this after the fact, but he was brilliant. He probably made a better prisoner than a prison officer, to be honest. It's fantastic. So the scenario is you're told under no circumstances must you say or do certain things, you know, never give in to what they're asking for, you know, never say no, because, you know, that is a definitive answer. You've got to say no without saying no, if you like. And off you go. So door opens, in you go. In this particular case, there was a barricade and there was a mocked up prison cell. And I'm stood there. Hello? You know, prisoner comes out, what do you want? So I come to.
Has he got a hostage or anything?
You don't know.
Oh, right, okay.
No, you don't know.
Okay.
And what do you want? I said, I'd like to talk to you. Well, I don't want to talk to you. Back into the cell. So he stood there like, you know, just waiting like Piffy. I really want to talk to you. Well, I don't want to talk to you. And this goes on and on, the banter goes on, and it becomes more and more and more tense.
Before you go into this, like when you go for your role plays as part of your job application,
Oh yeah.
did they like build you up so before you go in you're nervous?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, you are anyway. I think it's a natural thing.
Something new, isn't it?
It's completely new. I'll get to the sort of the relevance of it all later on. But to cut a long story short, when you're outside, you take all your regalia off, your epaulets off, your tie, your belt, your keys, your stave, nothing that they can use or ask you for, if you like. And so in you go, and this goes on and on and on, and then you hear in the cell area that you can't see, you hear voices. And then you think, hang on, there's 2 people in there, or there may be more. So you have got to make that calculation. So you're all psyched up now, you don't know what the hell's going on in there. And while all this is going on, you're being filmed and you're being watched by psychologists. Eventually, the prisoner comes out and gives his demands, whatever the demands are. Can I ask if you've got a hostage? Is the hostage okay? Is there any damage? Can, you know, blah, blah, all this, that and the other. And then right out of the blue, the prisoner will say, you don't think it's a bit cold in here? Just completely tips you off balance completely, because you've gone through all this psychological thing with, you know, a hostage, and then it's cold and he's talking about the temperature. I say, yeah, well, it is a bit nippy, yeah. Give me your jumper. Well, people who know me, I never took my jumper off at work, ever. I might get 2 weeks holiday in August.
Yeah.
But I used to wear a tank top. Of course, I've gone in there, no stave, no, everything's gone. Got my jumper on. Prisoner wants my jumper. I can't say no, and I can't give it him. So what do I do?
Is that part of the not being able to say no? Is that what you're taught?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you've got to say no without saying no. You've got to get around that. You've got to talk them off whatever they want and move them in a direction that you want them, that we want them to move. And the object of the exercise is to get the hostage out of there unharmed and unhurt. At the end of the day, if that doesn't happen, you know what the scenario is.
Yeah.
I failed that particular course because I ended up giving him a jumper. But that's another story. But what I did learn when I came out of there is I learned more about myself, putting me through all that stress and that, you know, all the emotions that come with it. I found out more about myself as a person and as a prison officer and a potential hostage negotiator, that it made me want to apply again.
Is there a period of time within which you can't apply?
I'm not sure whether there is a certain amount of time, to be honest with you, and I'm not sure how long it was before I did the second one. But my second one, I went down to Stoke Heath. Same scenario and everything.
Yeah.
Only I didn't wear my jumper.
Yeah.
And slightly different scenario, but basically the same. Hostage, prison officer doing a prisoner and what have you, being filmed, and the psychologist. And I passed that one. But the interesting thing was, when I came back after the first failure, a particular governor, who shall remain nameless, virtually in as many words said to me, "You're not the right kind of person to be a hostage negotiator. You're not the calibre that we want as hostage negotiator." And I thought, I'll show that bastard. I am that person who can be a hostage negotiator. And that is what drove me on more than the fact that I wanted to actually do it for myself.
Yeah.
Because he said I couldn't do it. And I thought, right.
And to be fair, I would imagine, just same as prison officers, you've got 20 hostage negotiators, although there's not always a hostage. It could just be 2 prisoners barricaded, couldn't it?
Absolutely.
They'd all be different personalities.
Absolutely. And what I will say is that the course that you go on, the particular hostage negotiator course that you go on, is more real than ever a real situation is. They're totally different. On the training course, they put you through everything, things that prisoners would never even think of. Prisoners are quite basic. The needs are very limited. Yeah. You know, they want an extra visit, or they want transfer.
Popular one, isn't it?
They want to go shopping on Deansgate. Was the one that I went to.
Yeah, take me to the block.
Yeah, all that kind of thing.
There's a lot of young prison officers watch this channel, mate. Would you say for anyone that, you know, maybe in the job treading water, don't think they've got much purpose, if this comes up, to go and have a go at it?
Oh, absolutely. Go for it. If you fail, I'll tell you, you've not failed, because what you've done is you've succeeded in learning a lot about yourself. You might have failed in the prison service eyes.
Yeah.
You know, if you really, you see, when I did my second course, you're not the only one there. There's 3 or 4 of you that do it.
Yeah.
And you can go and watch, if you like, after you've done yours, and see how the other people. And I remember there was one girl there, and she had great prison record. She was a good officer, certainly SO material. She was a nice young girl in her sort of late 20s, early 30s. You know, you sort of ideal female prison officer. She went into the cell and she lasted 5 minutes. In the scenario that they put up, she was lasted 5 minutes, and she just, I can't do this, I've got to go. It might have been 10 minutes or so, but it wasn't long before she found out that that was not for her. It is only for certain people, but it's well worth doing, because you find out so much about yourself, and also, you know, you become a valuable tool for the prison service to use. I mean, my first shout was Christmas Eve morning. I just got up about 8 o'clock, phone call, am I in ticket? Yeah, I've got my ticket. Right, there's a hostage situation at Garth, we need you down.
Is it like, are you on a rota, duty rota or something like that? To contact you, or would they just go through a list and...
They've got a list of people who have passed the course, and obviously if there's a hostage situation in Lancashire, they'll pick all the people who are closest first and move them out, and they will have probably as many as 20
in the prison
for around the area to attend an actual live.
So you're not necessarily going to be at your own nick?
No, you can be anywhere you want. You can be anywhere you want. Obviously they'll take you first if you're at your own nick.
Yep.
And then the net will spread out. And although the training doesn't last that long, maybe an hour, hour and a half, top, something like that, a live situation will go on for days, as it did in my first shout. I was not first one at the door. I was in a rota system. You work your way down. There's normally 3 on a door. I'm not giving too much away, hopefully, but there's normally 3 on a door.
Prisoners will know what the script is.
You've got the negotiator, you've got a number 2, and then you've got a runner. And the runner's job is to pass messages from bronze command up to the door. The runner again gives it to the second in command at the door, and at an appropriate time will pass a piece of paper. Because obviously when you're dealing with somebody...
if you're in a cell, you're only seeing one person at a time?
Yeah, through the observation panel. That's it. You are told to keep very, very, very quiet, and you know, it's almost impossible. You know, but it's like if I'm at the door facing a situation, observation panel open, having a conversation with the prisoner, and there's a noise next to me, automatically the prisoner's going to start to jump back. What's that's going on? They're expecting the worst. They're expecting a tank division to go straight through the door.
Yeah.
Because they know that's going to happen eventually.
Yeah.
If they don't come out. So the messages are passed on, and it's all about building rapport. You can be pulled off at any time. Bronze command can say, well, you know, you're not doing very well. Send the message, and it's like
how would they decide that? Surely
it's cameraed up. It's listened. The cameras are there. There's the microphones are all set up. They've got live feeds. They're getting messages to and from. Just out of sight down the landing somewhere, there'll be 20 prison officers. Most of them will be in CNI gear ready.
Prisons know that, don't they?
Of course they do.
Everybody knows.
Absolutely.
In a scenario like that, you're barricading or whatever.
Absolutely.
If you don't surrender them, at some point people are coming in the full riot gear. So, is there a period of time where you will be talking to someone and then they give you a break? Or would that be determined about how well the chat's going?
If I'm getting on very well, for me personally, if I'm getting on very well with the person behind the cell door or wherever it is, then they keep me on as long as I'm able to stay there, as long as I'm making progress.
Yeah.
Or shall we say, as long as I'm keeping the prisoner occupied without the hostage being hurt or anything.
Yeah.
While further down the landing, they phoned up the CNR team. That's, you know, the national team's coming in. They're making arrangements to do this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
As long as I'm doing a good job there, then. But there will come a point in time. I mean, they're not going to keep me there for 3, 4, 5 hours because I'm going to get exhausted anyway.
Yeah.
There'll come a point in time where they'll say to you, if you feel as though you've had enough, then just pass the message along and you will be relieved. And of course, it's not that easy because I might have a rapport with the guy behind the door, and I'll say, listen, I'm feeling a bit bit knackered. Do you mind if I take a break? And he's quite within his rights to say, no, I want to talk to you. I don't want to talk to anybody else. I want to talk to you and nobody else. That situation's got to be managed, and it's an on-the-spot thing that you do all the time. So in my particular case, I'll say, right, okay, is it all right if I stay another half an hour? I said, but I really, really do need to go and relieve myself. Surely you understand that. You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's
So
building that rapport.
Sort of making your excuses.
Yeah.
When you stood at the door then, because I've never been in that situation, at any point did you, obviously it's a personal thing, relax, or are you sort of on edge, or, you know?
You're going in there, all the adrenaline's pumping.
Yeah.
Everything's going on, as you know. I mean, in various situations in the prison service, when the alarm bell goes, immediately that adrenaline switch in your head goes off. So you're there. You might have been briefed before. If you're not first on scene, if you're in the line like I was the first time, you'll be briefed. You go into Bronze Command and it'll have, you know, the walls covered in different things and what have you. So you're briefed where we're up to, you know, what's happening in the prison.
Just tell people what Bronze Command is, Gold Command, etc.
Right, so you've got the command set up in the prison service. You'll have Gold Command, which is normally down in London.
Prison headquarters.
Headquarters.
Yeah.
Silver Command may be actually on site, or it may be in the area.
A local prison maybe, or something like that.
Yeah. Bronze Command is in charge on site in an area that's not too far away from the scene of the hostage negotiator. It's a room set up where the chain of command then goes both ways from Bronze Command. They're in charge on scene.
Yeah.
It goes down the line to the guy on the door.
Yeah.
And then it goes up to Silver Command, and then from Silver Command up to Gold down at headquarters.
Does it have to go through that full chain of command?
Yes.
Or at any point could the people on site say, right, it's got critical going in? Does it have to come from the very top?
The decision to go in comes from the top.
Right.
And it's managed on the way down.
Is it a very quick process, this? What I'm saying, right, I know it's not real, but let's say you're at a door, there's a situation, it's getting out of hand, you've passed your messages on, you know, the Bronze here, they're thinking, right, we've got as teams here, we're going to need to go in now.
Yeah.
To go back up the chain of command and back to you, how quick could that happen?
If the situation was imminent, if there was...
Is it a phone call?
No, in my experience, Bronze Command would just say go.
Okay, so they just make a decision.
There's a lot of things happening before that.
Yeah.
A lot of things happening before that. Bronze Commander would say, well, it doesn't look like this is going to end very well. And Silver Command, Gold Command will say, well, it's your decision to make. The teams are there ready. If it looks like it's going to happen, then, you know, intervene. And intervention is just like that. It happens. Because everybody's ready. The job of the guy on the door is to keep that prisoner occupied and stop him from doing anything like that. The ideal situation is to talk him out, where he will come out, there'll be a 3-man team or them, absolutely. They will come out, there's a set of in place where you will say, right, this is going to happen, that's going to happen, there's going to be so many people here, the Board of Visitors are going to be here, they'll be filming everything, so there's no, you'll be all right, you'll be safe. You'll be taken down to the block. You'll be put in the block and everything. And, you know, it's giving that prisoner as much information as you possibly can, so nothing's a shock or a surprise.
Because they're going to be on edge as well, aren't
Absolutely, totally.
You know, if you say we're going to be coming in, bump, then quite often. Can I ask you? I've only just thought about this.
Okay.
We don't need to know about specific shouts, but have you ever come away from doing that role and felt like guilty, or you know, maybe you could have done something different or anything like that? Has it ever sort of weighed heavy on you?
No, is the answer to that. But I did come away from a live situation. I was taken away because I thought I'd made enough progress to get the situation resolved, but I was ignored. And I came away angry because I put so much into the situation.
I knew you were going to say that. That is something else I was going to ask you. Obviously, again, you're at the cold face, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I could see that happening.
Well, you know me, and you know my character anyway.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's specific to just me.
No,
but in that situation, it was.
No, that's human nature. That if you, you know, yeah, I completely understand that.
And when you pulled away from it, then I've always said you don't realise how much stress you're under until you've not got any stress.
Yep.
So even in a general situation, just working day to day in a prison service, for instance, you don't realise until you've actually finished in the job how much stress you was under while you worked in the job.
Yeah.
And all people manage that situation differently. Stress is always managed differently. But that adrenaline rush that you get when you go on site to a live situation is reversed when you come off it, and it's like, boom. They wouldn't let me drive home after I'd finished for 2.5 hours until...
Do you know what? I'm glad you said that. Do you know why? Because I've always said good managers... They don't need to manage prison officers. Prison officers know how to do the job.
Exactly.
A good manager for me is somebody who turns up and says, right, somebody's taking that guy home, or...
He recognises that.
Yes.
Exactly.
Look after your troops.
Yeah.
So I'm glad. Now, something else that I've just thought about, I have heard people talk about hostage negotiators in a negative way. You know, there is that macho side to the prison service, you know, where people just want to storm the castle, you know.
You need both.
Exactly, exactly. But did you get any of that? You know, did you get called out because you went for that role or anything like that?
What, for being the storming the castle role?
No, because you were an hostage negotiator. Did everyone call you a soft ass or a do-gooder or a...
No.
No.
I mean, we worked together for a number of years, and you've been in the prison system for many years, longer than that. But until just recently, you didn't know anything about hostage negotiating, and a lot don't.
The thing is about this...
You didn't know I was a hostage negotiator.
No, I didn't, and I find these things interesting. You know, people ask me like about being on healthcare and things I did that they never experienced. But same for me. You know, I do find it interesting. Yeah. You know, it might not be something that's happening every day a week, but you know, we did have a few scenarios at Strangeways when we were there. One we talked about that you were involved in. Yeah. I was involved in because I knew the prisoner, but I didn't know you'd been involved in that. So anything in that job that I don't know about, I find interesting. Then,
well, we're not the kind of people who blow our own trumpets about things. You know, we don't go around with a sign on your head, look, I'm hostage negotiator, I do this, I've done that, I've saved this person, I've been on that shout. You don't, you just get on with it. Well, to me, that's what I've always come across.
Did you obviously get a sense of sort of accomplishment, or like you said, you're not telling everyone what you've done every way, but did it give you some sort of I don't know, satisfaction might not
Do you know-
be the word. Do you know what I mean?
The best piece of satisfaction I got was when I passed the course the second time and I saw that governor who told me I would never make a hostage negotiator. I just give him, there you go, mate.
Job's a good one. Is there anything you would like to add?
What, hostage negotiators?
Yeah, we're going to save the rest for your life story.
Right, okay, well, no, there isn't. But, you know, you touched on it before. If you get a chance, if you're a prison officer and you get a chance, do it, because you'll get more out of it than you would ever think possible. And at the end of the day, you might save a life.
As a final note, what Ruthless has just said, I did the tornado training, which is the riot training. I would say the same again, me. From Strangeways, it was always oversubscribed. Loads of people wanted to go. There weren't a lot of places. Other prisons, I saw staff sent who didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
You've got to want to do it. But again, the riot training, it's something different. It gets you out of your nick. And you know what? Like Ruthless said, it teaches a lot about yourself, character, teamwork.
Discipline.
And you do have a bit of a laugh as well. And, you know, we need to have a laugh in that job, don't we?
Absolutely.
Because someone just asked me, so if you get a chance to do something like that, or go on your tornado riot training,
Do it.
grab it with both hands.
Definitely.
Thank you very much. In a few weeks, life story, prison history, Ruthless.
X-rated.
Thank you very much, mate.
It's a pleasure, Sam.
Job's a good one.
Yeah.
Catch you later, guys. Cheers.